Good morning, everybody. I wanted to come live to talk to you about the frustration of the process. When most people want a new vehicle or need a new vehicle, they get to decide the price point that their vehicle is in. They get to decide the features of the vehicle that they have. They also get to decide without any input from anybody else to renew their licenses, to get that vehicle. As long as they can afford it, they're all set. That is not the case for those of us needing accessible vehicles. The process you would not believe, and I don't believe it, anybody else had to go through this, they would not go through the process. Our process started back in November. My vehicle died out in the end of October, and in November. We are 104 days today that I've been trapped in my house, but the frustration of it all is ridiculous. First of all, I needed to get a doctor's note to say that, I'm still capable of driving. Then I needed to get a prescription and an assessment. That assessment took us till now. I only got that assessment this week because Rhode Island doesn't do this assessment. Massachusetts, the one place that does this assessment in Massachusetts, doesn't have a vehicle to do the assessment on. So I had to travel an hour and 45 minutes out to Connecticut this week, finding a way to get my chair out there. It's hot enough getting around Rhode Island, never mind having to go 2 states over to Connecticut to get my assessment. Then it was a 2.5 hour or more assessment to the 2.5 hour drive home because of traffic and everything. But that assessment to me was so degrading and so uncalled for. My legs stopped working 9 years ago when I became paralyzed, but the rest of me is perfectly fine. I never lost any of that. The tests that they put me through, on and off my chair, checking my quick response, checking all different things that if the common everyday driver had to go through this test every time that they wanted to renew their license, or think about it, every time somebody gets tagged for DUI, they needed to go through this assessment, they would never do it again because this assessment was horrible. The assessment to me was completely degrading. Like I said, my legs don't work, but everything else is okay. Now I wait. Now I have to wait for that paperwork and everything for all these people to talk to see if they think that I am. I've been driving for 7 years. Nothing has changed for my driving ability has changed other than the fact that I need a new vehicle now and my vehicle has died. I need a new vehicle now. So it's horrible what they put us through. Then they put me in a van that was not completely set up for me. The gas brake that we usually have to use is up closer. Theirs was down by my knee. I felt very uncomfortable driving this vehicle because it wasn't set up for me. And they're taking me out on the road in this vehicle. So now here I am having an assessment on a vehicle that's not even fitted for me or not even close to being fitted for me, how dangerous that is. And now they're going to decide if I'm fit to drive. It's absolutely ridiculous. So even if I had the money, I'm still waiting on all of this paperwork and assessment and process. We're supposed to be able to blend in. We're supposed to have jobs and keep jobs like everybody else. Like I said, there is nothing wrong with me. I mean, nothing wrong with me to the point that I've been appointed by the president to the United States Access Board. I'm completely cognitive okay, but now other people decide my fate. Other people decide what vehicle I drive because when this is all said and done, I will have a choice between one or two vehicles. I will not be able to choose color. I will not be able to choose anything else because these vehicles start at 60 grand and there's not a lot of them to choose from. So I don't have that option either. I don't get to choose with the bells and whistles. It's kind of like, this is the equipment you need. This is the equipment you get. I wouldn't choose a $60,000 vehicle. If you went out and chose a $60,000 vehicle, number one, it was more than likely brand new. Second of all, you get to choose everything about it. We don't. So we're having this comedy fundraiser on March 24th to raise a down payment, not to buy the vehicle, to raise a down payment that I can afford because I would drive a $10,000 vehicle if it was assessed and worked for me. But that's not the case for us. Our vehicles start at 60 grand used. Then, I mean, they're like 80 grand brand new. And this is our main means of transportation. So every time that we have to change a vehicle or re-upped, we have to go through this entire process all over again. We need to fix the process. We need to make it okay, especially those of us with spinal cord injuries. Usually it's one or more parts of our body that ends up paralyzed. But for the most part, cognitively, brain-wise, and everything, we're fully intact. To go through this is amazing. And I'll say, if anybody had to go through what we go through, nobody would be doing anything, and we'd have a lot less drivers on the road. It's not only the driving that we have to go through. Just for me to go out for the day and go to a restaurant, I got to call the restaurant. Are they accessible? Are their bathrooms accessible? Are the places accessible? Can I get in? Can I get around? Do I have a vehicle to get there? My chair doesn't fit on a bus in this state. I may be able to get on as long as the bus is 100% completely empty. But if there were people on the bus, there's no turning radius. There's no way of getting on and off the bus. There's no way I'm not even anywhere near a bus stop. We have one wheelchair accessible cab in the entire state. That doesn't work for us. People don't realize how much extra. So we work 10 times as hard to do the same thing as everybody else. And you know who gets recognized? If I fell out of my wheelchair and somebody helped me up, that is newsworthy. That is important. That is what people cover because, helping us is so. But if we're helping ourselves or we're doing for ourselves, that's not covered. That's not important. That's not what people think that they want to hear. 80 news outlets were emailed a press release. One news outlet picked up that press release. One. How sad that is that we can't even prove to the world after all of the extra that we go through to do that, we don't even get recognized for that. Or tell me, everywhere that you go this weekend, if it's an awards banquet or a banquet or something, could I get into the building? Could I get on that stage and win an award? Why do you think we don't get a lot of awards? Why do you think we don't get a lot of things? Because people don't want to take the extra steps to make sure that we're included. Well, I hate to tell you, 30 to 40% of our states uses the mobility aid, whether it's permanently or randomly or temporarily, whether they have a surgery or not. If you're not seeing us out and about and you're not making the accommodations, you're missing out on all of those people. You're missing out on all of those ticket sales. You're missing out on all of that revenue at your businesses and restaurants. And we don't come alone. We come with friends and family because homes are so much harder to make accessible. So not only are you missing out on the expendable money, the millions and millions and billions of dollars that we have in money to spend at restaurants, clothing, and all the necessities that everybody else needs, you're missing out on our family and friends spending that money as well. For those who support us, won't go to a place that's not accessible. So think about it. Let's change the process. Let's recognize the people that are doing the work, and let's open our businesses up to being included. Let's use the idea: inclusion, diversity, equity, and accessibility. Add accessibility. The idea: open your perspective to everybody. Be inclusive to all. You will have a larger bottom line. You will meet the most incredible people in the world, and you will let people live the short amount of life that we have on this planet. Tomorrow is never promised, and we just want what everybody else wants: to be included, to blend in, and to just be part of society, and not be inspirational because I'm doing things in my wheelchair, but being inspirational because we're working our butts off to make a difference in the world, to help other people, and to live our daily lives. Thank you for listening, and have a great day.